What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 3 of the Parkside Podcast. My name is Ryan, and we're here to talk all things Disney. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Parkside Podcast. All right, guys, welcome back. I'm super excited to be here with you. We took a little week off last week because my other job, we were actually out west. We went all the way to the West Coast for my other job. And so, with that, brings this cool segment because I get to talk about Disneyland. I have never been to Disneyland once in my life, and I went for the very first time last week. And what a great experience it was. I absolutely love Disneyland. I feel like a little kid. I couldn't sleep the night before. There was just so much to look forward to, but also the unknown because I had no idea what to expect. I had never been to these parks, never walked these trails, never been on these rides, never saw these shows. So there was just so much stuff to look forward to. I was so excited. Unlike Disney World, which I've been to a lot, I could literally walk those parks with my eyes closed. It was just a different time on that side of the country at Disneyland. And I absolutely love it because I just felt so much excitement and just had so much curiosity and wonder about what was going to happen and what I was going to do and all that kind of stuff. And so I wanted to break that down for you a little bit of what I experienced at Disneyland because it was just so much fun. So we went 2 days actually. We went Monday and Tuesday. Monday we had a park hopper, so we actually started in Disneyland. We walked in, and that was the first thing I wanted to do. If I was going to visit Disneyland, I thought it would be the best thing to do was to walk through the gates of Disneyland, see the train station, walk under the train station, and then just walk into Town Square and to Main Street, and then see the castle at the end of Main Street. So that's what we did. We entered, we took pictures in front of the train station, of course, walked under the train station, went to Town Square. What a cool environment that was. You know, it's so much different than Disney World because it's just to me and how I felt was it was way more intimate. Like you go and you can see things and at Disney World sometimes you go to that spot in Town Square and you just feel rushed. There's so many people. There's things happening and it just can be overwhelming. But I felt like when you entered into Disneyland, it was just so intimate and like quiet, and you can hear the music, and you look around and there's characters everywhere. We saw Mickey, we saw Minnie, we saw Chip and Dale. Pluto was over here. Goof, like it was just so cool to be able to see the small lines for each of the characters, and they're just out. They're not behind walls. They're not, there's not huge lines to, see these characters and things. So it was just such a cool, intimate, fun experience to like experience that. And then you turn the corner to look down Main Street. And when you do that at Disney World, at the end of Main Street, you see this massive Cinderella castle. That wasn't what happened when you turn the corner on Main Street at Disneyland. The castles, it's a lot smaller. But I had already prepared myself for that. So I knew, that it was going to be smaller. But when you see it in person versus pictures and things like that, it just doesn't do it justice because it is so small. And in that part, so the hub part of Disneyland, there's a lot of trees, which we don't have at Disney World anymore. We used to have that a while ago, but they got rid of it just because there's so many people, fireworks happen, all that kind of stuff. And so there's no real need for the trees, or you're going to have spaces that people can't see. And so they got rid of the trees at Disney World. But at Disneyland, they still have those trees. And so you're trying to look through the trees. You're trying to see the castle. It's so small. It's like behind the trees, so you can't really see it. It's like you have to walk all the way down Main Street around the trees, and then you get a great visual of this Sleeping Beauty castle that is at Disneyland. But so that's what we did. We experienced Main Street. We got a coffee from Starbucks on Main Street. We walked up and down Main Street, listened to the music, saw the trolley, saw the Main Street vehicles and the double decker bus and all that kind of stuff. Just experienced that really quick. And then we left. Actually, we had some questions for the guest services. So we went over, got our first time pin button, and we talked to the cast members there. Super nice cast members. Were excited for us that we were there. We told them that we go to Disney World all the time, but this is our first time at Disneyland, and so we got to experience that. They gave us some great feedback on what we should do. We actually bought the Lightning Lane because we were only there for 2 days, so we figured why not get the Lightning Lane pass, experience as much as we can experience, and then just be content with what we did. So that's what we did, and it was great. So once we talked to guest services, we went back down Main Street, out the gate, and when you go out the gate of Disneyland, you go right across the street or this little um like area. It's a big area, but when you go to Disney World, you can't just walk, a little bit of ways into another park. You have to take transportation to get to Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, water parks, all those type of things. Here, you literally walk across this little or big walkway, and there's Disney's California Adventure. The entrance looks just like Hollywood Studios with the colors and all that, but it says Disney's California Adventure. So you walk in there. Again, very intimate. There's lots of shops and things like that. You walk through, there's a courtyard area again, and then you continued on. So the first thing we did was soaring, which was fantastic. It was soaring over California, which we haven't seen in a long time in Disney World, because they, moved to um, Disney's soaring around the world. Now we have soaring across America. So seeing soaring over California was cool again to be able to experience that. The smells, the oranges, all that kind of stuff was super cool. So we did that, and then we what did we do after that? I think we went back to Pixar Place. We rode Incredicoaster, super fun ride. Go check that out on my TikTok. There's a video of it taking off and launching. So much fun. We actually did that a couple times because we enjoyed that so much. So we did that. Then we went over to the Ferris wheel. If you've never experienced that Ferris wheel, it was crazy. If you've ever seen videos of it, the way that it slides down and slings you up and all that kind of stuff, there's a video that I have of us doing that. And I am a little bit terrified. I don't get terrified about much, but that was crazy. It was super fun. Super glad we got to experience it. But also in Pixar Place, you see Frozone, you see Mrs. Incredible. We saw Jesse and Buzz. We saw Rex. Rex was doing a meet and greet out there as well. Super cool place. They have Toy Story Mania in that area as well, and a couple other like kid friendly rides. But just what a cool place to go and see those characters. After that, we went and did Avengers. So we did Guardians of the Galaxy, and we did the Web Slingers. Web Slingers was absolutely fire. Like, just the technology behind it is absolutely insane. So what a cool experience that was. And Guardians of the Galaxy is our version of Tower of Terror. So if you think Tower of Terror, just think they don't have Tower of Terror, but they have Guardians of the Galaxy that does very similar things. The only thing about Guardians of the Galaxy is Tower of Terror has a nice like pre-show, takes you up, shows you a video, takes you up, like you can see the course to where you're going to potentially drop up and down. This one, it literally starts out with Rocket, and he unplugs the elevator, plugs it into a cassette player, which starts playing music, and that's it. You're on. You're going. Drop, up, and then it holds, opens. You can see the park, and then drop. Like it does it. I feel like so much more. So like the anticipation that you get on Tower of Terror here in Disney World, you don't have to worry about that because it literally is maybe a minute into it, and you are already going up and down on Guardians of the Galaxy. So that was super cool. We saw Iron Man out there and the Avengers campus. Um, we saw Spider-Man, we saw Black Panther, uh, but characters are just everywhere in Disneyland and California Adventure. California Adventure. It's just super cool area to be in. So then we went over to Cars Land. We rode Radiator Spring Racers. What a cool experience that was. Uh, it was just so cool to experience that. And, we waited in line for that one and we didn't get a lightning lane. So I felt like times were a little bit more than what it actually was. I think we maybe waited 20 minutes for that. And that was even after a delay that it was shut down for a little bit of time. So that was good. So we got to experience that. The Cars Land as a whole, super cool themed area. Like they nailed it. You can meet Lightning McQueen in that area, which is crazy cool. Um, then we went up and we did Monsters Inc., which is a cool ride of the story of Monsters Inc., the movie. Nothing like we're getting here or in Disney World, but still a super cool ride because I love that movie of Monsters Inc. So experience it, seeing the characters, they're big, they're large, they're talking, all that kind of stuff. Super cool ride. And then we went back and rode Incredicoaster again and did Toy Story Mania, which was awesome. And then we went back to Disneyland. So this is the part why we got the park hopper for Mondays because um, that night they had the Paint the Night parade, they had the fireworks, they had Fantasmic. So we went back over to Disneyland and got to experience the nighttime festivities, if you will. So we saw Paint the Night. What a fantastic parade. You cannot compare that to Starlight. Neither one of them you can compare because they're totally different, totally separate. And they both are amazing parades that fit their specific parks. So super glad that they're not like one another, but both of them are phenomenal. And I'm a huge entertainment person, so like parades are my thing. So I can judge a parade, and both of those parades are great. And so I watched the fireworks. So earlier I was talking about the trees in the hub area. We stood on Main Street. It was like right where the hub entered into Main Street to start walking up Main Street. We stood right there, had a great view of the fireworks. The Blue Fairy and Baymax actually fly over the castle during the fireworks, which is super cool. We have Tinkerbell who flies down from Cinderella Castle, but Blue Fairy and Baymax actually flew over the castle during the fireworks. So that was super cool. But when you looked over where the trees are, like I was talking about earlier, if we had those at Disney World, there'd be huge spaces though of just emptiness because you can't really see um, over those trees or through the trees, obviously. But when we were standing there, I looked over and where the trees were are huge spaces where nobody's standing. And then you get over to where there's not trees on both sides, and that's where the rest of the people start standing again. So I can see why Disney World got rid of it. Disney World sees a lot of people year after year, and so it just would not be functionable space to be able to have trees and have it beautiful. But it worked for Disneyland because even when we were standing on that little hub into the main street, like we weren't really like packed on top of each other. I feel like sometimes when I'm watching Happily Ever After on Main Street of Magic Kingdom, it's just you're like squeezed in there, packed in there, good. And I felt like we were not that much packed in that little area. So it was great to be able to watch those fireworks. We then went over to um, Frontierland and saw Fantasmic. So their Fantasmic is on Rivers of America. So like they don't run the boat and stuff obviously at night. Neither did Magic Kingdom. But they actually transformed that whole area to Fantasmic. So their stage is on the island across the water. One cool thing that's different from their Fantasmic to Disney World's is there's a Peter Pan segment of an actual ship that comes around, and Peter Pan is sword fighting with Hook and Wendy and Smee and all the characters are on the ship and things like that, and they have a whole segment to themselves. So I absolutely love that. That was great. Cool way to end. And then we had a 6-pack of beignets. So those are really good. Those were really good in Disneyland. They're good in Disney World, but there's something special about them at Disneyland. We also had a churro, and I've always heard that churros are 10 times better in Disneyland than Disney World. I can confirm that is true. So that was day one. And then day two, we went back to Disneyland. We only had a single day ticket. So Disneyland was our park of choice for the day. And we did as much as we could in this park. So um, we did ride Space Mountain on Monday as well. And that is a two-seater versus a one-seater in Disney World. So that track was super cool. No big drops like we have in Disney World. So that was kind of shocked that they didn't have that, but it's super cool to be able to experience that with somebody beside you instead of them being behind you. So like the two-seater, but also like a single seat in Disney World as well. Um, so Disneyland on the second day, we focused on a lot of the old rides. So Mr. Toad's, Alice in Wonderland, Snow White's Adventure. There was another one that I can't remember, but it's all right there behind the castle. So it was nice to be able to jump around and experience all those rides, all those classics that have been there for so long. Super cool rides, the details amazing, and they've been around for forever. So that was great. We went over to Star Wars Land. We rode Haunted Mansion, super cool. I love Haunted Mansion. I love where the Hatbox is. Um, the Hatbox Ghost is in Haunted Mansion. He's super close to the Dune buggy, and like you just get really close to him, which I think is absolutely amazing. Um, and the bride in the attic of Disneyland's Haunted Mansion, I think is so much. It's so much better than ours in Disney World. Like she was super cool with her heart beating and things like that. Just a cool experience. Unfortunately, Pirates of the Caribbean was down, so it was down for refurbishment. So we did not get to experience that. It opened 2 or 3 days later after we were there. Of course, that's just the way it happens. So we didn't get to experience that, but we did do Jungle Cruise there. We had a great skipper on that. He was hilarious. I think I said we went back to Star Wars Land. We went back and rode Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway as well, back in Toontown. And yeah, so that was day two. We did pretty much everything you could do in Disneyland in a short amount of time. And then we had to leave to catch our flight because we had to head north up to San Francisco. So that's all we did. Paint the night, Fantasmic, and the fireworks on the Monday night because we knew on Tuesday we have to leave early and we wouldn't be able to experience the nighttime stuff on that night. So that's all we did. That overall Disneyland. Everybody asked me like, which one's your favorite, or what did you think about that versus this one? And my thought is, I love both of them in their own unique way. Disney World is definitely a vacation, gotta plan it out, lots to do uh, park or resort. Disneyland is more of a local vibe. It's more intimate. It's more relaxing, and you don't really have to plan out what you're gonna do. Now you would have a little bit of planning so you know where to go and what time things, especially if you have lightning lane and things like that. You'll be on your phone a little bit, but for the most part, it was so just low key, which was nice compared to going to Disney World. Now I've been going to Disney World for a while, so Disney World is low key to me. But I know when I have friends or family come and they really want to get all they can get out of Disney World, like I help them plan things and what to do and how to experience things. And so I just know that Disney World Resort is just a lot more to put into the effort for a Disney World vacation versus a Disneyland vacation. We did also go out and spend a little bit of time in World of Disney in the downtown Disney area, which is also right outside the main gate of Disneyland. Over to the right, and bam, you're in downtown Disney, which is absolutely crazy. So to have them walking distance between each other is crazy because Disney World is just not like that. Like I said, you got to take a monorail or the Skyliner or a bus or a boat or something to get to another park. And at Disneyland, you just don't have to do that. If you want to go ride something else and you have a annual pass, you can do that No problem at all. So that's my experience at Disneyland. I did want to talk to you through it. Got a lot of pictures and videos I want to put in here as well. So you can get to see that, experience that with me. And I think you'll really love that as well. So this segment is about new things that are coming or happening at Disney. And so we just had the halfway mark to Christmas. Can you believe that? To Christmas. So I wanted to talk about a couple things that they did announce last week at Disney World that is coming for Christmas. So Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party will take place on 25 select nights between November 8th and December 22nd. December 22nd is a good date. But yeah, so 25 nights between November 8th and December 22nd will be Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party at the Magic Kingdom. They also announced Disney Jollywood Nights are returning, and those will run for 15 nights at Disney's Hollywood Studios between November 7th and January 5th, which is crazy. They're going into January for Jollywood Nights. So you'll get a little extra time to experience some Christmas magic at the parks, which I think is great. Like extending it a little bit longer through January 5th. Nothing wrong with that. Decorations are still up. They don't come down for a couple of weeks into January. So why not take advantage of that? That's super cool. And then Epcot International Festival of the Holidays is returning. So that starts November 27th, which is after Thanksgiving, and goes until December 30th. They'll take it down December 30th, which is crazy in Epcot because the tree comes completely down because they have so many people that come there for New Year's Eve. And so they take the tree down so people can view the fireworks and they won't be anything in their sights. So that's cool. So July 9th, the tickets go on sale for the parties. So Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party at Magic Kingdom, Jollywood Nights at Hollywood Studios. So if you are a Disney World resort guest, if you already have those reservations during that time frame, you will get tickets to go on sale on July 9th. And then to the general public, July 16th, they will go on sale for the general public to those parties. So super cool. Lots of things coming back. I love Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Just what a cool time to be in the Magic Kingdom, seeing characters dressed up, drinking hot cocoa. You get cookies, the special fireworks show, the special Once Upon a Christmas Time parade, characters that are in their Christmas stuff, Christmas music playing all the way throughout the parks, the snow on Main Street, the stage show in front of the castle just being all Christmas for like it's just a great time to be in Disney World. So I definitely recommend if you haven't been to Disney World for Christmas time, definitely think about planning that out and going because the resorts are all decorated with Christmas trees. Some of them have gingerbread houses or gingerbread carousels. There's so many things happening throughout the parks. Animal Kingdom is decorated. They have their own thing up there. Epcot will have the International Festival of the Holidays, Jollywood Nights, also Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. And then after December 22nd, Festival of Fantasy goes away. And the 23rd through the 31st, the daytime parade is the Once Upon a Christmas Time parade. So that's why they don't have the Christmas party after December 22nd. So you can actually experience the Christmas parade from the party during the day, twice a day, 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. So if you can't make it to a party, I would go a little bit later in December and you'll be able to experience the same parade that all the party guests have experienced. And all the entertainment is during the day and things like that. The castle show, the parade, the firework is still the Christmas fireworks. Happily Ever After goes away for those few days as well. So lots of things coming back. Christmas time is my favorite. I love it. And I especially love it spending it in Disney World. Just what a great time to experience that. So the next thing that has happened recently, which has been a hot topic amongst the Disney World crew, people, fans, is the new change to the Disney Springs transportation policy. And so I just wanted to talk through it. I actually wanted to read through it so you actually know what is happening at Disney Springs. So there's no confusion. There's nobody saying, I don't understand, things like that. So what has been put into place is you can no longer, if you park at Disney Springs, you can no longer take a bus to the resorts or Yeah, to the resorts for any reason at all. Unless you have a hotel reservation. So unless you're staying at one of the hotels on Disney property, and that does include Swan and Dolphin and Swan Reserve, um, then you can hop on a bus, any bus you want, and go to those resorts. But if you do not have a hotel reservation on Disney property, or if you're not staying at Swan, Dolphin, or Swan Reserve, you can no longer take this transportation to another hotel just to enjoy the day and experience. So they have two different checkpoints, one at one side of the bus depot area and one at the other side next to the Coke store or the orange lot. So towards the lime lot and towards the orange lot, there's two different checkpoints. They'll check your magic band, your ticket. If it says that you have a hotel reservation on Disney World property, or if you have a dining reservation at somewhere on Disney World property, or if you have a recreation reservation on somewhere on Disney World property, you can take the bus. If you have none of those, you can no longer get on the Disney transportation at Disney Springs. So just make sure you know that you can no longer just hop on a bus. You can no longer just park at Disney Springs. Now, parking is free at Disney Springs still. So you can go enjoy Disney Springs, but if you don't have any of those three things, a hotel reservation, dining reservation, or recreation reservation, you cannot get on a bus and go exploring. You need to get back in your car and you can go park at a theme park. And then from there, you can take a bus from the theme park to a resort, but you can no longer free park at Disney Springs and then enjoy your time at Disney World. That is gone. So just wanted to make you aware of that. Again, you cannot go from Disney Springs to a Disney hotel unless you have a hotel reservation, dining reservation, or recreation reservation. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have questions, leave comments below. I'll try to answer them as much as I can just to help you, guide you through this whole process. It is a brand new change. It just started on June 28th, so literally like 2 or 3 days ago. But we knew they were talking about it. There's rumor of it happening, and now it is put into place. So just wanted to let you know that. If you have any questions, just leave those comments below. And then the final part is my tips and tricks of things at Disney World. So I figured since we were on that halfway to Christmas, I would talk about the Christmas party tips and tricks. Hopefully that's okay. We can circle back on this as we get closer to Christmas time in Magic Kingdom, but figured if you're planning to go, why not talk about it now? You can get your tickets early and be successful and be updated and ready to go when you get there. So a couple of tips and tricks is first thing is to arrive early. You can get in as early as 4 o'clock p.m. So if you want to be one of the first ones in, I would say get to the front gate at like 3:30. And right at 4 o'clock, they start let you in. You'll get your wristband, and then you can go explore the park before the party even starts. That's extra time. That's great. And during that extra time, I would either say go eat dinner early, so you can get that out the way. It's not taking up your party time. So eat dinner early, or if you really want to meet a popular character, so like Jack and Sally meet, and Jack's in his Santa suit, and or Mickey and Minnie are in their Christmas attire, or there's other characters that are really popular that you really want to meet. I would say and by their meeting area, and whenever they open that up, because they tend to open it up maybe an hour, hour and a half earlier than when the party starts, you can jump in that line and be one of the first ones. So that's what I recommend. Arrive early. Again, you can get in as early as 4 o'clock. So take use of that time from 4 to 7 before the party even starts. I think that's crucial. The early parade, if you're planning to stay the whole time, the early parade is more crowded than the later parade. It's the exact same parade. So if you're a parade person like me, I go to both. I have to see it. I have to be there front and center. Doesn't matter how many times I've seen it. I got to see this parade. So I will go to both. But if you're not really into entertainment, not really into the parade, and you only want to see it once, I would say skip the first one and then go to the second one, because the first one has a lot more people because they have their kids. They leave right after the fireworks, so they don't stick around for the second one. The second one's a little bit later, usually about 11 o'clock. And so not as many families are there for the second one. So I would say skip the first one, meet characters, ride rides. There's layovers for some of the rides with like Christmas music and things like that. So I would definitely take advantage of those things. Get your hot cocoa, get your cookies, all that kind of stuff during the first parade. It'll be a lot less of a wait. Um, and then, yeah, during fireworks or parades, if you want to ride popular rides, that is the best time to do it. You can view these fireworks from anywhere in Magic Kingdom because there's no, well, previously there hasn't been any projections on the castle for the Christmas time fireworks. So you can see them from anywhere in the park. They're beautiful. The music plays all the way throughout the park. It's great. Another thing I would say is there's unlimited goodies. So you can get as many cookies, as many cups of hot cocoa, as many cups of eggnog or apple juice as you want. But at the beginning of the party, the lines are really long. So if you wait a good 30 to 45 minutes, those lines should die down and you'll be able to walk right up and get your hot cocoa, get your cookies, and you can get as many as you want. You can ask for 2 or 3. You can circle back around. You get your hot cocoa, you get your cookie, and you leave, and you want another one really quick. Just get right back in line. You can have as much as you want. That's what they're there for. So I would say maybe take a book bag or a bag, and you can stuff some extra cookies down in there for later. That is the way to go. And then the final thing I would say is just to make sure that you get the full experience, staying until the party ends, I think is really good idea. But the next day, don't plan anything super early. Don't plan a really early breakfast. Don't plan an early flight. Like take that time, sleep in. Checkout's not till 11 o'clock at your Disney resort. So take that time to just relax, settle down, because it can be a little overwhelming at these parties as well. There's a lot going on. You don't want to miss it. You only have one night. So you're trying to see characters. You're trying to get your cookies and cocoa. You're trying to ride these rides, see the shows, fireworks parade. Just take your time, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy everything that's around it. It's a great time of year. The season's fantastic. It's super magical, especially in Disney World. And then the next day, just take it easy and relax. Well, that's about it for me for this episode of the Parkside Podcast. I hope you enjoy it. If you liked anything that you heard here, you can comment below. I'll engage with you. I'll talk back and give you some more feedback if you want it. But yeah, I'm super excited that we're doing this episode 3 already. That's crazy to say. Make sure you like and subscribe to this podcast. It's super helpful to me. Share it to all your friends and family. That's super helpful as well. And make sure you click that bell so you can get notifications when we do post a new video or if we go live at any time. You never know when we might start live streaming at a park or something like that. It's going to be a great time for that as well. Check us out on Instagram and TikTok. We have both of those. I post videos of Disneyland and other videos on those 2 social medias as well. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next time on the Parkside Podcast. Goodbye.